Thank you for joining us for Every Child Ready to Read video.
My name is Stacia Chinova. I'm the Youth Services Manager at the Latah County Library District.
And my name is Bailey Gilreath Brown. I do youth services and marketing for the Latah County Library District.
It's not too early or too late to help your child develop pre-reading skills to help them become readers in school.
There are 5 practices that we can do with children to help them get ready for school. These are our activities that we are doing or can do with them every day: talking, singing, reading, writing, and playing.
This week, we'll focus on talking and reading. All 5 skills are important, but talking and having conversations with your children from the very beginning is crucial for brain development. Language exposure not only helps develop pre-reading skills, but it actually gives your child the tools they need to process stress and become resilient.
Even though you likely already talk, sing, read, write, and play with your children, how we do these activities makes a difference in helping them enter school ready to read.
Getting ready to read and write involves many skills. Some children learn these skills earlier and more quickly than other children, just like children learn to walk and talk at different ages. When you use the 5 practices, you can help your children learn important pre-reading skills that are appropriate for their age and interests. Don't push your child. Have fun with these activities every day so your child wants to do them again and again.
The 5 early literacy practices help develop the 6 early literacy skills. These skills are print motivation, a child's interest and enjoyment of books;
Phonological awareness, the ability to hear and manipulate the smaller sounds and words;
print awareness, learning that writing in English follows basic rules, like left to right, top to bottom;
vocabulary, knowing the names of things;
letter knowledge, learning that letters have names and are different from each other, and that specific sounds go with specific letters;
and finally, narrative skills, being able to understand and tell stories and to describe things. Here is a song to help you remember the 5 early literacy practices.
Every child ready to read, every child ready to read, every child ready to read, we are helping plant the seed. Sing, talk, read, write, play. Sing, talk, read, write, play. Sing, talk, read, write, play. Growing readers every day. Hey, grown-ups! Here's a tip about the importance of talking.
One of the most important skills is vocabulary, or knowing what words mean.
Children have a listening vocabulary, or words that children understand when you speak to them,
and also a speaking vocabulary, words children use when they talk.
A child's listening vocabulary is usually much larger than his or her speaking vocabulary.
Here's another tip on the importance of talking.
The early years are a critical time to develop children's vocabulary.
To be ready to learn to read, most children need to have about 15,000 words in their listening vocabulary. That means they need to understand the meaning of about 15,000 words when they hear them.
The best way to help children develop a large vocabulary is to talk and read with them.
Next, we're going to share a tool that you can use when reading with your children. It's called
Dialogic Reading. Dialogic reading is an interactive technique that encourages adults to prompt children with questions and engage them in discussions while reading to them.
You can do dialogic reading with any book,
including a wordless book.
Today, we're going to demonstrate dialogic reading with The Day the Crayons Quit by Drew DeWalt.
When you use dialogic reading, you're going to ask open-ended questions like, what's going on here? What do you see on this page? How is this character feeling? What's going to happen next?
And then you'll follow those answers with another question. Say, I wonder how that happened. Well, what do you think? When did you have this happen?
And then you'll expand on what your child says. You'll add another piece of information or help your child repeat longer phrases.
And then you can help your child make connections to past experiences or to future events. So, when did you experience something like this? Or how did you feel when that happened? Or how would you feel if you were being chased by a green dinosaur?
Dialogic reading is a great tool because you can read the same book over and over and have a different experience every time.
You can use dialogic reading when reading wordless books with your children.
Stacy, why is it important for us to read wordless books?
Well, wordless books help to build a child's listening and speaking skills, their oral language skills. Children are listening to what you, the adult, is saying about the pictures, and children are saying their own ideas about what is happening in those pictures.
Reading wordless books develops a child's narrative skills because you are encouraging the child to tell the story. Development of narrative skills can help a child make sense of and tell their own story, which is key to helping them build not only pre-reading skills, but coping skills.
Wordless books also help build vocabulary when you, the adult, add more words to what the child says. Purposefully adding words, synonyms, or descriptive words that your child is not familiar with builds their vocabulary in a natural way.
It also encourages creative and critical thinking, which helps with comprehension.
Hey, grown-ups! Here is a tip on the ways of talking.
When children are encouraged to make up stories, they are talking about things that are not in the here and now. That means they have to imagine things not present, which adds many more possibilities for new words. Here's a tip about the importance of talking.
If English is not your first language, speak to your child in the language that you know best.
This allows you to explain things to your child more fluently.
Your child will be able to translate what he or she knows later, rather than having to learn both the concept and the English word at the same time. Here's a tip regarding background knowledge and print awareness.
Sometimes words in books or on signs are written in interesting letters that help us understand the meaning of the word or how to say it.
Pointing out that you are getting an idea of how to read the word from the way it looks on the page helps children develop print awareness. Factual books. There are many different kinds of factual books. This book about ducks has a table of contents to help guide your reading and your finding. It also has an index in the back. You might also find glossaries, references, and suggestions for further reading.
But not all factual books have those things, like this one, that is essentially a biography. So there are all kinds of factual books, and it's really cool to read those to your kids, but don't feel like you need to read them cover to cover.
Okay.
You can really jump around to whatever your child's interested in. So it's fun to share factual books with your children because you can add information to the topic that you know. You get to show off a little bit. And then your child could add information that they know, so they get to show off a little bit.
That's right. If they ask questions and you don't know the answer, it's something that you can discuss, or you can try to find the answer together. The next book we want to share is Dig, Dig, Digging by Margaret Mayo and Alex Alefi.
So what we're doing with this book is we're all going to clap on the beat of the first line of each page, and then we're going to repeat the last line of each page together. It has a nice repeated phrase.
We're going to practice our rhythm and repetition.
All right, so the beat we're going to clap together is going to be...
That's right. So let's go ahead and get started. Diggers are good at dig, dig, digging, scooping up the earth and lifting and tipping. They make huge holes with their dig, dig, digging. They can work all day. The next vehicle we have
is a fire engine.
That's right.
Are you ready with your clapping? Fire engines are good at
Race, race, racing.
Look out, bright lights flashing, hoses at the ready for swish, whoosh, whooshing.
They can work all day. That's right, and you can continue to read these kind of books even with more interactive styles. You can practice what kind of a sound the vehicles will make or what kind of motions the vehicles do.
So with your child, you can act out the motion of a digger.
That's right, digger.
So when kids act out motions like that, they're more likely to remember what the word means.
That's right.
Hey, grown-ups! Here's a tip about factual or informational books.
Children learn many more new words from books than they do from everyday conversation.
Hearing these rarer or less common words is very important to developing a large vocabulary.
Knowing many words means a child will be better prepared to learn to read. Here's a tip on interactive reading.
Predictable books with a repeated phrase or pattern engage children in reading before they actually learn to read, as you have children repeat the phrase.
When you come to a predictable line, use your voice and hand motions to encourage your child to read along with you.
They are learning how stories work and are enjoying reading with you.
By acting out the words, children gain a better understanding of what they mean.
Then, when children later read these words themselves, they will understand what they are reading.
You can also share books with your kids that highlight the joys of reading.
Sharing books with your kids who have characters who model a love of reading, writing, and going to libraries helps your children develop their own love for reading and writing. This is print motivation.
That's right. And did you know that you can share other books that you're trying to teach to your children? If there's a skill such as empathy or patience, you can find books in your local library about those topics.
Hey, grown-ups! Here's a tip to help you out as you use these concepts at home.
Remember, your home is a learning zone. You don't need expensive toys.
What your child needs is you.
You to guide them as they learn about their world, as they learn about writing and print and letters, as well as the stories you tell and read.
Talk about what you're doing as you go through your day.
Ask your child questions, listen to the answers, and then ask other questions based on what your child has said. Thank you for joining us for session 1 of our 3-part condensed version of Every Child Ready to Read.
Be sure to check out sessions 2 and 3 as they are posted. My name is Bailey Gilreath-Brown.
And I'm Stacia Chinova.
And we're from
the Moscow Public Library in the Latah County Library District. And to close, we want to leave you with a goodbye song. Okay, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.